If you've ever boarded a flight longer than 6 hours, you probably departed when the city was about to sleep and arrived with the sun rising at your destination. This isn't the coincidence or lack of available schedules from airlines. Behind this apparent convenience lies one of the most ingenious and profitable strategies of modern commercial aviation. The nighttime scheduling of long-distance flights is a strategic move that reduces costs, improves global hub efficiency, and increases airline profits. Understand how you sleeping peacefully in your seat on an overnight flight became one of the best businesses for airlines.
But before we start, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to our channel and turning on the notification bell to get our new videos. It really means a lot to us.
Human nature has become the most valuable silent partner for airlines. Our body functions like an ultra-precise biological clock, following a circadian cycle of approximately 24 hours that naturally prepares us to sleep when night falls. During a nighttime flight, after a meal and when the cabin lights dim and you recline your seat, something fascinating happens. Our organism simply accepts the situation and leads us to sleep. This biological phenomenon represents an economic revolution for airlines. When a passenger sleeps during 8 of the 12 hours of flight between New York and London, they don't just rest, they become a low operational cost customer. The airline saves on service, reduces crew fatigue, and still offers an experience that many consider superior, waking up naturally at the destination, as if jet lag were just an urban legend. But what really impresses specialists is how this circadian synchronization works as a time zone adaptation tool. Imagine your body as a computer that needs to update its internal time zone. Nighttime flights function as a natural reset. You sleep during the correct period and wake up at the destination's local time. It's as if the airline offered, free of charge, an anti-jet lag treatment that would cost several $100s at specialized clinics. The transformation that occurs in a cabin during nighttime flights is truly remarkable. Within 2 hours after takeoff, that environment that seemed like an aerial shopping mall with people walking, talking, and constantly requesting crew attention transforms into something resembling a library. Sleeping passengers mean calls reduced by up to 70%, corridor movement dramatically decreased, and consequently a crew that can focus on strategic tasks instead of microservices. Nighttime flights are usually cheaper because they're times with lower demand. But what few know is that this lower demand hides a fascinating economic equation. Fewer awake passengers means lower beverage consumption, up to 40% reduction in service, fewer bathroom visits, less wear and cleaning, and crew with preserved energy for real emergencies instead of spending time explaining the menu for the 10th time. The savings go beyond the obvious. Flight attendants on nighttime flights report stress levels up to 35% lower compared to daytime flights. A rested crew makes fewer mistakes, offers better service when needed, and more importantly for airlines, reduces costs with medical leave and employee turnover. When the sun sets in New York, a true global choreography begins to happen. The main international hubs, London Heathrow, Dubai, Singapore Changi, Amsterdam Schiphol, don't operate randomly. They operate in perfectly synchronized connection waves, as if they were conductors directing an intercontinental symphony. Imagine how it works. Your overnight flight from New York lands in London at 7 a.m. local time. At this exact moment, dozens of other intercontinental flights are also arriving from different continents. Within 2 hours, these same airports begin the second wave, connecting flights to final destinations. It's a system so precise that Dubai, for example, can process up to 126 different simultaneous connections in a 3-hour morning period. This nighttime-morning synchronization isn't coincidence. Flight economics can be drastically affected by jet streams, with winds that can increase or decrease in aircraft speed by more than 60 miles per hour. During the night, especially on west-east routes like US-Europe, atmospheric currents become more predictable and favorable. The result? More punctual flights, more reliable connections, and maximized revenues through integrated itineraries. A powerful air current is helping flights from North America to Europe, and this phenomenon repeats globally during nighttime periods. A Boeing 777 flying from New York to London can surf these currents and save up to 45 minutes of flight time, representing a fuel savings of approximately 265 gallons, about $800 in direct costs per flight. When we multiply this savings by thousands of monthly nighttime flights, we're talking about millions of dollars in operational savings. But the benefit goes beyond. Faster flights mean equipment with greater rotation, crews with optimized schedules, and passengers who arrive less tired at destinations. It's an equation where everyone wins, but airlines win more. Airport infrastructure also conspires in favor of nighttime flights. Major international airports offer differentiated rates for operations during low-traffic hours. Charles de Gaulle in Paris, for example, can charge up to 30% less in landing fees for flights operating between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. Frankfurt goes further. It offers promotional packages for airlines that concentrate their intercontinental operations during nighttime periods. This policy isn't airport altruism. It's pure operational mathematics. Airports with traffic distributed over 24 hours can optimize their teams, reduce bottlenecks during daytime peaks, and maximize the use of their expensive infrastructure.
Pilots and flight attendants who work on nighttime routes aren't simply employees on alternative shifts. International aviation regulations recognize this specialization through specific protocols for nighttime flights, involving differentiated rest periods, adjusted flight hour limits, and even special diets to combat the effects of circadian inversion. The most fascinating aspect is in crew rest areas. In modern aircraft like the Airbus A350 and Boeing 787, these areas were designed specifically thinking of long-duration nighttime flights. Circadian lighting systems, independent temperature control, and even aromatherapy are used to ensure the crew rests effectively during their break periods, maintaining operational safety at maximum levels. Not all long flights follow the nighttime rule, and exceptions reveal the complexity of this strategy. Routes like Tokyo-San Francisco or Sydney-Los Angeles frequently operate during the day, contradicting nighttime logic. This happens due to an interesting phenomenon. When we fly against Earth's rotation, east-west direction, our temporal perception completely inverts. A flight that departs Tokyo at 10 a.m. and arrives in San Francisco at 6 a.m. the same day due to time zones offers passengers the experience of gaining time. In these cases, airlines discovered that keeping passengers awake during the flight helps adaptation to the new time zone, reducing jet lag more efficiently than forced sleep. These exceptions prove that nighttime strategy isn't a universal formula, but rather a scientific tool applied according to the physics of terrestrial displacement. It's aviation based on astronomy and neuroscience, where each nighttime flight is calculated not just in distance and fuel, but in circadian impact and temporal adaptation of passengers. Nighttime aviation operation faces an unexpected adversary: urban noise laws. Airports located near urban centers like Boston Logan or LaGuardia in New York have curfews that prohibit operations between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. These restrictions forced airlines to develop even more sophisticated logistical engineering. The solution? Strategically positioned alternative airports. Newark in New Jersey specialized in being the nighttime airport of the New York metropolitan region, offering 24-hour infrastructure while LaGuardia operates with restrictions. Miami International was designed from the beginning for uninterrupted operations, transforming into one of the largest nighttime hubs in the Americas. This specialization created a new economic category: airports that profit specifically from aviation's nighttime economy. NICE regulations also drove technological innovations. Modern aircraft like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner were developed with noise reduction technologies specifically to enable nighttime operations at urban airports. Pressurization control has also been revolutionized. Modern aircraft maintain internal pressure equivalent to 6,000 feet altitude instead of the traditional 8,000 feet, significantly reducing the effects of nighttime fatigue. Air filtration systems with HEPA technology completely renew air cabin air every 2 to 3 minutes, creating a healthier environment for prolonged sleep. Artificial intelligence is also revolutionizing nighttime route optimization. Machine learning systems analyze meteorological data, jet streams, air traffic density, and even passenger sleep patterns to calculate ideal departure and arrival times. The result is increasingly precise, economical, and comfortable flights. The evolution of nighttime flights represents more than simple operational optimization. It symbolizes how commercial aviation transformed from a means of transportation into a multidisciplinary science that combines astronomy, biology, meteorology, economics, and cutting-edge technology. Each nighttime flight that silently takes off while cities sleep is the result of decades of scientific research and technological innovation. Airlines discovered that working in harmony with the natural rhythms of the planet and human body isn't just more economical, it's more sustainable, more efficient, and surprisingly, more human. When you board your next intercontinental nighttime flight, remember, you're not just traveling through space, you're participating in one of the most sophisticated and profitable strategies ever developed by commercial aviation. Night stopped being aviation's rest period to become its most productive and profitable moment. In the darkness of dawn, while the world sleeps, airlines discovered how to transform dreams into real profits.